they're young guys that haven't played a whole lot of games. Every game they gain more confidence. They've seen more things with that experience. I think we'll continue to build confidence, and they'll have a chance to continue to be more and more successful each week, each rep, each game. So I think they're in pretty good shape.
Have there been things you've been able to show them on film, positive? I mean, everybody kind of accentuates the negative, but do you kind of step back and say, hey guys, these are some things you're doing well?
Yeah, I mean, everybody outside of the building accentuates the negative.
No,
I know. Inside the building, what we try to do every single week is we show them the good, the bad, and the ugly. So you try to pull plays out from the game. You show them 10 really good plays. You show them 10 plays that we need to improve on, and you show them 10 plays that we need to eliminate, type of deal. Maybe 5 of each or whatever it may be. But it's like I've said to you guys before. We are going to celebrate like crazy when guys do something well. When they do something that we need to improve on, we're gonna correct that as well. And it's like I told you guys before, I don't want to become a coach, and I don't want our team to become a team or a program that the losses hurt more than the wins. So we're going to prepare like crazy because we all enjoy the wins more. You guys included, correct?
I mean, they all pay me the same.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
You haven't really... I insist.
Thanks, Ben. What are some of the logistical challenges, maybe not for you necessarily, but for your staff, as you guys prepare for guys taking official visits here? And also, two-parter, what's the benefit for a whiteout for you guys from a recruiting perspective?
Well, I think from a whiteout perspective and from an enthusiasm perspective, you can't replace the energy that people feel, fans, getting caught up in that type of environment, building, continue to build our fan base, get it even stronger, recruiting, our players, everything. You want to be a part of it. I think there's no doubt. All the logistical stuff. That's why we have an administrative staff off the field that really help with those things, because they think the coaches are going to organize that. They're not. They're going to have the conversations with the families and the recruits and the high school coaches to make sure we're all on the same page. But that's where all the the off the field organization goes. That's where hiring a guy like PJ has been really helpful, because he's got institutional knowledge, he's got community knowledge, which is valuable to us.
James, how many recruits are you expecting this weekend? What was the biggest number you've ever had at Penn? Will this be the biggest weekend for you guys as a staff since you've been together?
I can't really speak on numbers, because football in general has crazy numbers. I think that's where some of the challenges come. I mean, you have 350 guys show up for a camp, 350 guys show up for a junior day or whatever it may be. You have large numbers. I think the quality. I think this is good of a weekend we're going to have in terms of not only the number but the quality as well.
You haven't really emphasized any single game as being bigger than the other. You've kind of tried to keep everything as, I think you call them, the one-game seasons. Do you need a marquee game, though, each year to kind of generate that relevance? It seems like for as good as the SEC is, for example, half of what makes them interesting is the fact that it doesn't matter what the record is in the Iron Bowl, people are going to watch it anyway. Does Penn State need that in your mind to kind of get to where you want them to be down the road?
Yeah, maybe at some point that will happen. We'll probably never really approach it that way. I think from a perception standpoint, it's probably important, but we'll never approach it that way. But I think at some point that time will come where it's going to be important for us to take that next step. When that is, I'm not sure yet.
Do you think the conference needs it? I mean, this is a pretty big weekend with you guys playing Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State.
I don't ever worry about the conference. That's not my job. My job is to do everything in our power to make this the best program in the country, off the field, on the field, in the classroom. And by doing that, that will help the conference. But none of the decisions that we make or things that we do is for the conference. It's for Penn State. And by doing a great job for Penn State, that will take care of the conference. In my opinion, that's how we approach it.
James, I know you've said that Miles is close. We've seen him out here. We saw him again tonight. For you who've seen him behind the scenes, I mean, I'd say it's probably not worth expecting a guy with that kind of injury would be able to come back. What have you seen behind the scenes, I guess, that he's put into his recovery and maybe the people who've helped facilitate that to get him back out here?
Yeah, I've been really pleased. I've told you guys for a while now, his approach from day one has been awesome. but there's a difference between your approach to treatment and your approach to the weight room than actually be out there on the field again, flying around with bodies flying around, all around your legs and things like that. And I think every day he's gaining confidence. I think the other guys have been really good. I see him out here, I think yesterday, the day before, with Zettel after practice, kind of working together and doing some things. Asking him to bull rush me, give me a speed rush, different things like that. Because as we all know, there's a mental aspect to it as well. There's the physical confidence and the strength to have the ability to do your job, and there's also to have the mental confidence as well. And then the footwork. I mean, there's muscle memory buildup, and he hasn't had that. He hasn't had those things in a while now. Another thing I mentioned, because I don't want to ever tell you guys one thing in the beginning of the week and at the end of the week something different changes and you think I wasn't being upfront and honest with you. John Donovan will probably be on the sideline on Saturday. We had a bunch of conversations today. You guys asked me that earlier in the week, and I said he'd be in the booth. And that's probably changed now. So I want to make sure that I don't tell you one thing and then something different happen on Saturday.
It's a
Can
real
you tell
quick
us the
follow-
strategy there, or what's the kind of thought?
I think probably one of the biggest things is Hack as a freshman, playing as a freshman, and Billy calling the plays. That's something he's comfortable with. So having either Ricky down on the sideline or having John down on the sideline with him, a lot of times once the offense is done, I'm with the defense and I'm with the special teams. He'd like to have somebody being able to make adjustments and things like that with him on the sideline. So it really is different than the way we've done it in the past, but it has to do with what Hack feels most comfortable with.
Who takes over for him then up in the booth? I'm sorry, who does his usual duties up in the booth? Because I'm sure he's charting stuff and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what we worked through all day today. As how the communication is going to happen. It's different. When he's up in the booth, he can look down, see what hash it is, see what yard line it is, exactly what the down distance is, because it's a big difference between 3rd and 1, 3rd and 3, or whatever it may be. So we've kind of gone through all those things. Ricky will have a little bit more on his plate, but he's already done a lot of those things. So basically, instead of Ricky talking to him, sitting next to each other, he's going to give him the information right from the beginning, and then John's going to go from there.
Like you do with midseason grades, do you evaluate the coordinators? Do you sit down and evaluate how John has done, how Bob has done? Do you, and Charles with special teams as well, do you do that or no?
Not at midseason. We'll do that at the end of the season. But to be honest with you, we're doing those things daily. I'm not a guy that's going to hold things back. I think we might have talked about this before. I mean, I never understood end of the year meetings where you sit down with your boss and your boss tells you, yeah, for the last 9 months, you've been doing these things poorly. I wish you'd have told me 9 months ago so I got a chance to correct it. So I'm not a guy, if there's an issue, I'm going to bring you into my office, we're going to sit down and talk, I'm going to pull you to the side at practice. And the same thing with me, I want that feedback. I want to grow and I want to get better, and the coaches want the same thing. And that's everybody in our building. We all hold each other accountable, we all challenge one another. But yeah, I'm not it's not like at the mid-season I'm going to sit down and do a thorough evaluation. We'll do that at the end of the season, but on a daily basis we're having conversations like that. Thanks guys, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.